36A, the history of that, a large part is thanks to the coalition here for bringing it to the forefront. Houston-Galveston Area Council had worked for a number of years studying freight movements, freight mobility, general mobility in the Houston region, hurricane evacuation needs, and they identified that a project that would allow freight to move outside of the Houston region, get around the Houston region, and go to points further to the north, like the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, where they have a number of distribution centers toward Austin and San Antonio and such, was an important project for us. Also, during Hurricane Rita, we saw the challenges of hurricane evacuation. People coming from the coast that had to go through the metropolitan area, they got hung up in Houston. We saw the large traffic jams, and having an alternate route that allows you to go from the coast northward toward your evacuation areas will be very important to allow the then population and our continuing to grow population to get out of harm's way, and also allow our responders to be able to come into the areas after we've had one of these incidents, so that they can then get in and help the people and provide the services, restore services that are needed for all those that are still behind. So the coalition, Houston-Galveston Area Council, pushed this to TxDOT, asked TxDOT to work on a study. TxDOT engaged us to do the 36A study. And if you look at the map, you think of, I like to think of it from the north going southward. As I come down Highway 6 out of the Bryan College Station area, kind of Waco, I get to Hempstead and I have to make a left turn. I have to come to Houston. I don't have a good corridor heading southward that would take me on down, crossing I-10 near Brookshire maybe, and on down to the south through maybe the Symington area, Fulshire area, onto US 59, connecting to existing Highway 36 down there. That seems like a logical connection then to allow us to go straight from the coast along 36, northward, connecting to an important corridor, State Highway 6, going toward College Station onto Waco, connecting to 35 there and on up into central Texas. You'll see on our study area map, we have obviously Fort Bend and Waller counties, two primary counties that would be involved in that. We've also included areas of Austin County, because and areas of Harris County off to the east, because as we look at that, we need to look at a whole universe of alternatives. If we narrow our scope too much, then we can be challenged on the findings of the study that we didn't consider. What if you went over toward the Grand Parkway? Or what if you went west over and you stayed along the 36 corridor up towards Sealy and then come on up toward Hempstead along a new route up there? We have to make sure that we consider all that. So you may be wondering why our map looks like this. That's so that we have a broad enough area that we can make reasonable decisions and defend those decisions in moving forward on the project. Those decisions are going to be based on the constraints that are out there. We have existing development. No one wants the road to go through their house. We have all kinds of existing transportation infrastructure. State routes, county routes, local roads. We have railroads that are there. We have to be able to integrate this project in with those other projects so that all of our goods move as efficiently as possible. And I can provide access to your home, to your business, or to the rest of the regional transportation network. So besides our homes, our existing road network, we have environmental constraints. We have significant environmental resources, whether it's the floodplains of the Brazos River that allows the water from an event like Harvey to move southward and reach the Gulf and not inundate our homes. We don't want to restrict that. We have areas in the Katy Prairie that are important ecologically for migration patterns and for holding water up above the Houston region in the upper Cypress Creek watershed as well as the upper Buffalo Bayou watershed. We need to be sensitive that we avoid and minimize impacts to those constraints. And we have to work with the people. We have elected officials here, our state representatives, county leaders, city leaders. We welcome going out and meeting with them, getting their input on how we can do something that will benefit their community and avoid and minimize impacts there. We need to meet with the public, whether that's one-on-one meetings, whether that's group meetings. We need to make sure that we Our schedule today, similar to what we discussed back in June at the transportation conference that the coalition hosted. So we're looking forward to having public meetings this fall to begin that outreach. We continue to work with TxDOT to finalize our purpose and need statements that is what they're looking for. We're building on what HGAC has already done, and as soon as we get those approved, we'll be able then to advertise for our public meetings, go forward to meeting more with the elected officials, and then the public can get their input, start developing our alternatives. Contrary to what some folks might think, we do not have a line on a map yet. There's no route running down this map that says that's where the road's gonna go. We are open to looking at all the alternatives. We will analyze them from an engineering standpoint, from a cost standpoint, and from an impact standpoint, and try to identify reasonable alternatives, do more in-depth analysis of those, and then identify our preferred alternative that will document in the environmental impact statement, and then be asking our state, our local governments to identify ways that we can fund this and bring this important project for our region forward and get it added to our network. And that's short and sweet there, Commissioner. And I'll be glad to stay around and answer any questions.